Hello and welcome to another episode of The Ivan Show. On this episode, I bring you a business journalist, Mr. Wadulo Anorld. He's a journalist at UBC. He's going to deliberate on matters concerning the cost of doing business in Uganda. Mr. Wadulo Anorld, welcome to the show and thanks for allowing to speak to us.
Thank you very much, Ivan, for hosting me on The Ivan Show. I'm proud that you've gone this far of owning your own show.
There are some
very,
things
very
that
big.
I needed to implement, and I found out that through making my own channel, really I will do a service to myself and the audience.
Big up, big up.
Yes, Wadulo Anorld. Uganda's economy has steadily increased for the past decade in construction, in telecommunications, and oil and gas. That is a marked growth. Now, can you describe the most challenging story you have covered related to oil and gas industry in Uganda? And what were the key takeaways for journalists or for people there who were intending to begin business?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that question. Now, as you know that oil and gas is a very new sector or a new thing that we have started to delve into. We discovered oil around in the 2000s. By 2007, there the talk about oil had started to come up. 10, oil was still being talked about, but it wasn't until this 2017 and post till today that oil and gas has really picked up as a topic, and also the fact that a number of investors came in, some went out, and things like that. So the sector is still young, it's still new, and that making me a journalist that came in because I started my journalism journey in 2018. That's when you were joining campus. But you see that this is a time when a number of discussions, investors had already come in and the likes, yeah? So one of the issues that I faced was understanding the terms in the oil and gas sector. You're hearing final investment decision is coming. In fact, it came to the point that it passed and we didn't know that final investment decision has come. And what amazes me is till today, I'm still not very, very clear whether the FID, financial investment decision, was made 100%. One thing I know is that all the partners, what it means is when all the partners that have invested, that have decided to invest in the oil and gas sector, have put pen to paper to say, we are going to take this amount of oil for this amount of time, for these years, to get this amount of money, to repatriate this amount and leave behind this amount. That's what I've come to think. So as I report oil and gas, it's not just been one story, but quite a number of stories whereby you're really challenged by the technicalities because it's a new sector in Uganda. And me being a new reporter, also a young reporter, it's something that I've found challenging, but you get your way around like any other experienced person. You have to take the time to study and learn some of those terminologies.
Mr. Wadulo, you have been recognized with awards and nominations in journalism. Can you share with us the key lessons you have learned in your career that have contributed to success and recognition?
Okay, that's a good question. Now, I must say that for you to be able to do anything, you really must put time into doing it. And besides just putting time, you also must put passion, concentration, research, networking. Those are some of the things that you must put into consideration if you're to achieve at anything. As per now, the truth is I've not won any award. I've just been nominated. I've been awarded as first runner-up, which was not the real award. I can say, yeah, first runner-up ICT journalist for 2019 at the NITA U e-Government Awards. That's an award that came to me by surprise. I really didn't expect it. And you had to vote for me and things like that. Yes, I got the first runner-up. First runner-up meaning that I was the second.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you very much for voting, by the way.
Surely we did our best.
Yeah, but what all this teaches me is that there are people out there that are looking out for people that are working. Yeah, and should anyone put their mind to do something, be not lied to. There is someone out there watching, and one way or another, with time, your recognition will come and your contribution to whatever sector you're participating in. So for me, any advice that I would give anybody out there that is looking to be awarded, looking to be recognized, is that put your heart and time into something you believe in. Yeah, it might take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, sometimes it might even take 20 years. Okay, but if it's something that you're passionate about, you sure will get the recognition, because time doesn't lie.
But these awards and nominations really very important in business or in even journalism. Are they so much important? Or what is important is the work done, the work you do?
I think these questions are these awards are important, because if you plan to stay in the same field but not within the same place of work, you understand? Some of these awards will be a benchmark or a supporting document or accolade to win your next job. Say, for example, I was moving to another media house. If I presented some of the awards and accolades that I have achieved, I have a competitive edge amongst those that might not have any award. You understand? So an award basically just appreciates your contribution in a specific area that you have competitive advantage, of. So I think they really do matter.
And even I think they come with, they come as a motivation.
They do, they really do come.
What you're doing.
Exactly. I personally was motivated when I was nominated, and when I became, recognized for being an ICT journalist, I took my challenge to, dig deeper into the ICT field. Yeah. So now at the ICT ministry, I can tell you, the development plan that they're rolling out. At NITA-U, I can tell you what they're doing to make sure. So those are things that I can be able to share offhand because of, the motivation I got to dig deeper into the field of ICT.
Yes. Given your extensive travels across the country, Uganda, can you highlight a specific region or district that provided unique insights into business and economic development? And again, most importantly, what advice would you offer to journalists aiming to capture the insights of different regions in their reporting?
Okay, that's a very good question. You seem to have researched your question quite well. Yeah, anyhow, ironically, I'll tell you that Karamoja is one of those places that I have visited that has kind of sparked my business, business eye. First and foremost, I've visited various regions within Karamoja.
Yes.
Mineral-rich regions I've visited, social villages, those Karachunas. I've visited so many places within Karamoja. But it strikes me that, one, this is a place that is endowed with minerals. That's one. But it is one of the most underlooked regions within the Ugandan country or the nation. One of the reasons is due to the fact that there has been war, the LRA war that has been ravaging peace in the northern region. So that really, really took them back, yeah. But they've had peace now for quite some time, over 20 years of peace, yeah. I think that it creates a virgin landscape for anyone to invest, yeah. There's vast pieces of land, acres upon acres, where an industrial park can be set up, There are vast mineral deposits that someone can say that, let me get a license to, explore some mineral, some gold. You understand? There are many people that can create a market for anything.
Is the climate and weather of that area favorable for people who want to invest in agriculture or in other business, but most related to agriculture?
Surprisingly, it rains. Not even surprisingly, contrary to popular belief.
Okay.
It rains in Karamoja, just like any other place. Just that it's, you know, the rain they register there perhaps is sometimes a little less than we receive here, but it rains in Karamoja, you see, and that means agriculture is a viable, you know, venture.
Okay.
But even if the rain wasn't sufficient, mechanized farming, I mean, why wouldn't you take advantage of all that land? You cannot depend on rain if you are going to plant on, you know, Karamoja pieces of land that run for acres and acres. So that's an idea whereby, you know, you can invest in mechanized farming and you have land. The only challenge would be now to how to transport the food to the place, to the market. And maybe you cannot only serve Karamoja. Yeah, but the factor of production that I can say it has is land. Yeah.
Okay, away from Karamoja, financial inclusion is a crucial topic, especially in developing economies. How do you approach covering stories related to banking and financial inclusion to ensure they resonate with your audience and address relevant issues in society?
Okay. Now, financial inclusion simply means that we are trying to get people within the money economy. There are people in Uganda best believe that take a whole day without touching any amount of money. That,
and there are very many, by the way.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
So including them into the money economy simply means creating situations whereby they can touch money, basically earn money and spend money. Of course, some people, like, you know, side dishes and things like that are just given money,
Yes.
which is not earned. But financial inclusion simply means that. Okay? So getting to report about financial inclusion has put me in a space whereby I'm looking out for those people that do not touch the money. Okay? And what are some of the initiatives that both government and private sector are putting together to include those people? So that's how I approach my story. I look at government policy on, you know, on financial inclusion. I look at private sector moves, you know, especially the telecom companies have done a very big, you know, milestone in trying to include people through their mobile money platforms. In that, if you have a phone, you can actually access some money. You understand what I'm saying? You might not be able to access a bank, but you can access a phone,
Yes.
which then helps you access money. You understand? So I really think that the telecom sectors have revolutionized and are contributing a very, you know, tremendous amount in helping the country's nation or the country's people get within the money economy. Yeah. So personally, when I'm approaching those stories, I look at some of those issues and what are the moves they are doing, what are the innovations being, you know, carried out. Agent banking, you know, agent banking in that taking an agent in a place whereby a bank may not necessarily be instituted.
Now, as both a creative artist and an entrepreneur, how has your background in these areas influenced your approach to business journalism? And again, there are specific creative techniques or entrepreneurial insights you have applied to your business reporting?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. It is important to let your audience know that I'm not only a journalist, I'm also a creative artist. I'm a musician / songwriter / music producer. Yeah, and I was this before I became a journalist. Yeah, despite the fact that I was studying journalism, I was doing music besides this. And as you learn how to produce music, when you dive into now the field of journalism, production is a very simple thing to get into. You can handle a camera, you can handle a microphone without asking so many questions. You will know how to position the microphone. You know that this microphone has to be at the front of his mouth, not at the side, for you to get the best sound possible. You understand? It helps you play around creatively in so many ways. There are places whereby you go and record videos without sound, you know? And you're like, what am I going to do? But if you're a producer or a music producer or an audio producer, you know that you can use Foley sound, you know? Whereby you just go on the road, perhaps record traffic, and then go place that sound of traffic on a video whereby you are moving in traffic that didn't have sound, you know? You are by a waterfall, you didn't record sound on a waterfall, you can simply go pour water from a basin and get that sound recorded and laid under.
I think that is a very nice creativity.
Yeah, that's where my creative side has really supported my journalism side, and yeah, I think I can say that.
Okay, there is one businesswoman in Chireka is when you are anchoring, I think is one of the ladies that turns on her TV. So he gave me this question straight. I will not duplicate it. In a rapidly evolving field like business journalism, she says staying updated with monetary policy and economic trends is very essential. Now her question is, how do you keep yourself informed, and what advice do you have for aspiring journalists seeking to stay ahead in this dynamic landscape?
First and foremost, what's the name of the lady?
It's called Christine.
Christine.
Works around Chireka Shopping Center.
Okay.
Yes.
Greetings, Christine. Thank you for watching UBC TV. Yes, so one, the fact that you're in the space of being a journalist and other journalists, networking is one of the key skills you must have. You must have numbers of both your fellow journalists, numbers of people of the community, LC chairman, you know, people that are doing business, yeah? But also have numbers of public, of government officers, you know? So personally, I can say that I have contacts of people within Bank of Uganda, contacts within all commercial banks that you know here. Equity Bank, Standard Chartered, DFCU Bank, Centenary Bank, name it, you get? I have contacts of people within Pride Microfinance. I have contacts within Prudential Insurance. So I've built a base of contacts. So that's one thing that you really must do to be able to thrive within, you know, the business journalism landscape. But also researching and reading, yeah? You might not be able to do the story every time, but you might have to read stories or listening into, you know, pertinent issues being discussed on TV, on radio, or in meetings that you go to. Build your bank of knowledge, yeah? Don't be caught off guard, or don't be that journalist that goes to break a story with haphazard information, because your audience is going to see through that and you might then lose your credibility, yeah? So it's very important that you resource yourself with research, and Internet of Things is here to back us up on this, but it's not a tool that you can solely depend on. You need to use all these tools all together to harmoniously, you know, achieve your task whenever you're trying to dig out for it.
Finally, as we wind up the discussion, small and medium-sized enterprises are a significant part of Uganda's economy. Could you please share a memorable experience or success story you covered and discuss the role of journalism in promoting and supporting the business?
Okay, small and medium enterprises. Wow. I think I remember a story I did some 2 years ago. I was invited at a certain KCCA plant where some two Dutch gentlemen were transforming Kampala city's waste, decomposable waste, into animal feeds. So what these gentlemen do is they go through all the markets of Kampala with, I think, KCCA trucks, and they collect rotten mangoes, rotten cabbages, rotten everything that is, you know, has been disposed of. Yeah. So they collect all that decomposable rubbish. Yeah. And they take it somewhere there in, I think it's towards Bugolobi. There is a KCCA recycling plant there where they were, you know, subcontracting to rent some space there.
Yeah.
So these two Dutch gentlemen are called Marula Protein. So I did a story about them. My boss sent me, Mr. Morris Mugisha, sent me to cover them. So I went, you know, heard their story, listened to what they do. I covered the process on how they turn all the waste into animal feeds. It's quite an interesting topic. I think I can task you, our viewers, to go watch that story. Marula Protein turning Kampala's trash to cash. You can on my YouTube, Wadulo Mark Anorld.
Yes.
So I did this story and uploaded it just like any other story I do. So I let it go. You know, I didn't know it was a topic being sought after by so many people, not only in Uganda but outside Uganda. Whenever I would check on the story has about 1.8 views. The next time I'm checking, it has 2.8, you know, K views. So I'm like, what? I'm like, hey, it seems people are really interested in this process, huh? Because agriculture is the backbone of our country. So definitely it's agriculturalists looking out for this. So one day, about 2 years later, I'm walking into work and a colleague of mine tells me, hey Mark, there are some two gentlemen down who have come to see you. They say they have come from Burundi and they've come to see you. I'm like, what? Burundi? What connections do I have in Burundi?
Yes.
I'm like, okay. So I go down. When I go down, the gentlemen tell me, hey Mark, how are you? We are so happy to meet you. You are famous where we are, and we made sure that we had to come here, and we've planned this journey. We've only come because of you. I'm like, are you sure you've come? Why have you come? Like, you see, you did this story. They show me the story. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this story. He's like, yes, we are looking for these people because we want to buy feed from them. You understand? So I'm like, what? In my mind, of course, it struck me. In that moment, it struck me that, you know, what you're doing is bigger than who you are.
I think internet has spiced up things, that we do things and they are there. People are monitoring.
And people are monitoring, you see? So it really, really amazed me. I was amazed at the power of which a simple story can bring people from Burundi to come and want to buy feeds, you know, in Kampala and then take it back. Already that has contributed to, what is it? Import substitution.
Yes.
Export promotion. That means by just it crossing the border of Uganda, we are exporting. So if those people took animal feed out of Uganda, I can say that my story contributed to export promotion. Can you believe it?
Yes, you're contributing information. I think your business reporting is doing a service.
So if this is what we can see, especially those that have noticed, all journalists that have noticed that kind of influence, if that is what we can see, what about that we are not seeing, that is as a result or impact of the stories that we are doing? Yeah, so for me, that just goes to call out to all my fellow journalists to not take any story they are doing for granted. Yeah, because it has a life that is changing out there, whether you like it or not. You're not waking up in the morning to go to sleep in the evening to not, you know, to think that you have not touched anyone's life.
Yes, Mark, give your parting shots to that investor, to that person thinking or planning to begin a business in Kampala, in Uganda, give advice to him or her?
Right. Well, personally, as an investor myself, I would encourage each and every one of you to, first and foremost, if you really want to grow and scale your business, you must really do the right thing. And the right thing means, one, research about your business, find out all the things that pertain your business, find out your market, the people that will supply you before you even start, you know. Find out the people that will supply you, the people that will buy, the place that you will locate or establish your office or your business or your shop, okay? Then two, if you've established all these things, go ahead and register your business. Because the only way you're going to scale your business to a certain level whereby you can really get profits that can sustain you and maybe your family is when you're operating a legit business. And a legit business starts by, one, registering it, two, getting a TIN number, and three, a license to operate. And yeah, then maybe the other one is quite, for me, a little different from how so many people think. The market is enough for all of us to share, okay? And I would want the camera person to really put the camera on me when I'm saying this.
Yes.
The market is really big enough for everyone to share. We are 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion people. Children, teenagers, youth, and the elderly. 8 billion. Surely, serving just 1,000 people
Is enough for you.
is just enough to prosper. You might say, hey, babies don't count, but babies have needs that you can create products around. You know, youth, teenagers have needs. So if you just scope out your market size and you target your people, you're like, I have done my research and I am sure if I operate this business within this region, I am sure to serve 1,000 people. The market is enough for us. Competition should just be a motivation, but it should not be a war. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wadulo Anorld, for allowing to speak to us and for being on the Ivan Show.
Thank you very much for hosting me.
I have been with Wadulo Anorld, and he was breaking down the cost of doing business in Kampala and in Uganda. And I hope the discussion was very educative for you out there who wish to begin a business. I think this is the right discussion or a right show you should follow and watch out to gain knowledge and get to know what you may not be knowing now. Ivan Tukundane is my name, and this is the Ivan Show.
IT Media.
Empowering truth, inspiring change.